celebration of Africa, it is really about the people who have made so much progress possible. And if it were possible to celebrate all of you, we would. And thank you very much. I cannot tell you how I'm honored to have, and everybody knows I try to be neutral, but President Akufo Addo is just one of my favorite people in the entire world. And, you know, I was talking recently about how Ghana is projected to be the fastest growing, for next year, the fastest growing economy in the world. And that is in no small measure thanks to his pioneering and visionary leadership. I have known him for decades, and I've had the opportunity to sit with him in triumph and to sit with him in trials and to sit with him when things weren't fair and to sit with him when things were going very well. And I can tell you that the strength of his conviction and his confidence and you will see that we have a very special short video that will show you some things about him that you may not have known. And Mr. President, Your Excellency, I am just so honored.
President Akufo Addo, I thank you for the opportunity to get to talk with you. We've broken bread before on many occasions, but I just wanted to take a moment. Marie and I think, would just like to convey to you that the example that Ghana has set and the example you have set as President of Ghana has truly been inspirational. It is widely noted in Ghana, in the region, and across the continent. And the commitment to democracy and the economic growth that has followed that is very, very impressive.
I wanted to present to the President a congressional record, and it basically is acknowledging your visit to Washington, D.C., but also the tremendous growth and development of Ghana, especially under your leadership in this very short period of time. So please come forward and let me present you. This documents your visit to the United States in U.S. history.
Okay, there's more to come. But Mr. President, we have another, and that's a statement that's published, sponsored by Congresswoman. That's a part of American history now in the U.S. Congress, the congressional record.
Sir, your leadership that you have shown over the last years of Ghana has proven a real destination for American investment on behalf of the private sector that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce represents. I think we couldn't find for a better partner in a government leadership that you've presented. It does prove that leadership matters in Africa, and hopefully what you've done in the short time you've been in office will translate across countless boundaries across the continent. And I think it's something that all other leaders and private sector alike should look towards an ideal for what is the potential in Africa's economy. So thank you.
Mr. President, in this country, there is a pool of capital from the private sector unmatchable anywhere else in the world. And since you've been elected president, in my time living in the United States, I've never heard such optimism about Ghana. And I think it's time we unlock that money and we send it to Africa, and we send it especially to Ghana. Thank you.
Mr. President, I just want to say on behalf of CFA, we're pleased that you have upheld the legacy of Kwame Nkrumah, and we're proud of you, and we're proud of Ghana, and we're proud of Wakanda on top of that. Rosa, we're really proud of you.
Your Excellency, your leadership has brought renewed hope and expectation for all that Ghana can achieve in the future. And with your leadership, Ghana will remain one of Africa's brightest stars. We at the Africa Society congratulate you, and as an African, I'm very excited about Ghana Beyond Aid.
Your Excellency, I think everyone recognizes that this is a new time for Africa, and a lot of that has to do with the leadership on the continent. You are a shining example of the leadership in Africa that is making a difference. And in the short time you've been there, it's already evident that things are changing rapidly. Even the growth, I think, from 3.3% growth in 2016 to over 7% in 2017 in your GNP, and then predictions for more than 8% next year. Your Excellency, the private sector in the U.S. is aware of that. They are looking at that, and we want to thank you for what can happen in terms of U.S.-Ghana trade and investment. Thank you for your leadership.
Since my first visit to Ghana as a teenager in 1966, I've seen my friends there go through many ups and downs, but I have never seen such hopefulness as when I was there most recently in November, due, Mr. President, to your leadership that is giving people the faith that the growth that Ghana is experiencing will be an inclusive growth that will bring everyone along.
And when we were there in November, there was a strong sense among so many citizens that their hard work was being supported by an equally hardworking government committed to making Ghana prosperous and a beacon for Africa.
Mr. President, the third time is the charm. We are delighted that you are president and that you are governing Ghana in the way that all of us can admire. All of these business people on this panel have talked about your effort to incentivize businesses to invest in Africa. I, as an NGO leader, could not applaud that more. And why is that? Because more private sector investment means better and more important human development. And we applaud it. Africa salutes you, and we are rooting for your success.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we have we can unveil it here before we bring you up. And it is also a customized portrait done by a Ghanaian artist, but we made it very special because we crafted a message just for you. Exemplary Leadership Award presented to you, Mr. President. May Ghana, under your leadership, be a wonder and an inspiration to the world. May the expectation, as we know it will, of every African man and woman be raised because of your pioneering achievements. May every child believe that he or she can because you lifted them up and paved the way. May your commitment to education and people-centered policies be remembered in the annals of history. May the world never be the same because you dared greatly and succeeded. With appreciation for your courageous and transformative leadership. Thank you, Mr. President. You may now join us.
It is an honor to be amongst you. Excellencies, ministers, ambassadors, members of the U.S. Congress, distinguished guests and friends, at this gala dinner organized by the Whitaker Group in celebration of Africa, a continent of unlimited possibilities. I have to begin by congratulating my good friend, Rosa Whitaker, on 15 years of exceptional achievement. We met 15 years ago when I was Ghana's foreign minister in the government of the outstanding Ghanaian statesman, President John Akufo, and have been firm friends since. She was very helpful to the Akufo government in finding our way around the labyrinth that is Washington, D.C. Her love of Ghana, of Africa, and her peoples shone through everything she did. You can imagine our pleasure when she decided to become a full-blown Ghanaian. When she married one of the most notable figures of faith in our country and continent, His Eminence Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams. From what we can all see, the marriage has made her even stronger. The Archbishop has to take some of the credit for that. So I say to both of you, as in our parlance, a big aiko. On behalf of the people of Ghana, I thank Rosa Whittaker and the Whittaker Group warmly for the honor of this award, the Exemplary Leadership Award. Ghanaians are deeply humbled by the award, and we accept the challenge that it imposes on us and in what the world expects of Ghana and of Ghanaians. There is much for us to celebrate as Ghanaians, as Africans, as Americans, and as friends. Over the course of our history, the Ghanaian people have had to overcome several trials and tribulations: slavery, imperialism, colonialism, tyranny, and dictatorship. We once lived in a country where freedom of speech was suppressed, where the safeguards of trial, the rule of law, were set aside, where individual property rights were disregarded by the state because the citizen had no guaranteed rights, and where citizens went to jail for expressing honest opinions. Nonetheless, what our history has taught us is that the spirit of the Ghanaian, in his or her quest for peace, for progress and prosperity, cannot be quenched. We are a determined lot who cannot be deterred. It took us a while, but the consensus on multi-party constitutional democratic rule has been established in Ghana. For the third time, the most recent being in December 2016, we had a peaceful transfer of power from a governing party to an opposition one. We did it without any fuss, and it is now part of what we do as a people. It is within this period of 25 years that Ghana has witnessed a consistent period of achievement. Today, after quite some time, we are recognized as a beacon of democracy and stability on the African continent. We are a country governed by the principles of democratic accountability, respect for individual liberties and human rights, and the rule of law, an aspiring modern nation. The time has come for us in Ghana now to move on even further to deepen our democracy. We must trust the individual and collective wisdom and good sense of our people. We must create wealth and provide happiness to our nation. We can only do this when we have a powerful private sector with a strong sense of enterprise, innovation, and creativity, and an educated and skilled population that is capable of competing in the global marketplace. That is why we are insisting on making basic education, i.e. kindergarten through primary school, to junior high school, to senior high school, free in all our public schools. To guarantee access to quality basic education to all of Ghana's children, irrespective of the circumstances of their birth. In doing so, we must expand our horizons and embrace science and technology as critical tools for our development. We want to create a society of opportunities and incentives. We have to build a confident Ghana, which is united, at peace with herself, and takes pride in her diversity, and which continues to pursue its historic Pan-African vocation. It will not be easy. We have no illusions whatsoever about the nature of the task we face, but I know that Ghanaians will rise to the occasion. They always do. The Black Star is going to shine and shine and shine. And we are going to build a Ghana beyond aid. It is a pity that the howling winds of Washington, D.C. prevented us from holding this event at its original venue, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I had looked forward to that very much, not only because its arresting structure was designed by a favorite son of Ghana, David Adjei, one of the most iconic of contemporary global architects, but also because of the history it apparently tells of the influence of Africans on America's evolution. Tragic, inhumane, and barbarous though their coming to America was. Their achievements here testify vividly to the resilience of the African and our determination to survive no matter the odds. Africans here, Africans in the Americas, Africans on the continent, together we shall overcome. The 21st century is going to be our time. We're going to realize our unlimited possibilities and establish conclusively our greatness. That is my deep-seated, unalterable belief. I thank the Whitaker Group once again for the award. It is good to be able to show that standing up for democracy, respect for human rights, and the rule of law has its rewards. May God bless us all and the peoples of Ghana and the United States. And may God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. Thank you very much.